What's going on, all you mentees? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and continuing our celebration of the last week of the year, even though I do this every month, here is our monthly budget meeting, this time for January of 2023, a whole new year, and a whole lot of books. 5 weeks! Stay with me. And welcome back, everybody. So yes, I am continuing the celebration of the last week of the year, but this is also something that I do every month. I talk about the upcoming collected editions, graphic novels, absolute editions, omnibus editions, trade paperbacks, and manga in here for the following month. So we call it our monthly budget meeting. So that is right, it's time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves with the upcoming books. I always like to stress that sometimes dates may change, and my top 10 may vary depending on whether I talked about a top 10 last month. And for example, I suggested getting Wolverine Volume 3 because I thought it was coming out in December, but no, it's coming out in January. That still stands true. Definitely pick up Wolverine Omnibus Volume 3. Before I go any further, though, a huge thoughts and prayers for my buddy, Aaron. Him and his wife ended up getting really sick, and he's the one that usually helps me put the Marvel and DC books together. So hoping for a speedy recovery, my brother. And on another weird note, but not quite the same, I found her. So thank you to, oops, sorry about that, Poison, or Ivy, Tina and her wife Heather for giving me this a couple years ago. I could not find her during the move, but I found her. Now I got somewhere to rest my wrist. This episode is definitely not brought to you by those mouse pads. I don't even know who makes them. All right, we got 5 weeks. We ain't got any time to waste, but you do have just one small thing that I ask of you. Hit that like button, please. If you haven't hit it yet, ring that bell for notifications. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Let's get this party started with the week of January 3rd. From Marvel Comics, we have Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Kraven's Last Hunt. This is a new printing of the book. So collecting Amazing Spider-Man 289 to 294, Amazing Spider-Man Annuals 20 and 21, Spider-Man vs. Wolverine #1, one of my favorite, most underrated stories. I don't hear enough people talk about it. We used to talk about it a lot in the 80s and 90s, but for some reason I don't hear enough talk about it. Web of Spider-Man 29 through 32, including the follow-up to that Spider-Man vs. Wolverine, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man 131 and 132. So if you want written documentation, by the way, of this stuff, check out our Patreon. That is at the $1 tier. I do this all in written document and share it with our patrons. Amazing Spider-Man is also getting a brand new Epic Collection, and this is Invasion of the Spider Slayers. So collecting Amazing Spider-Man 368 to 377, Amazing Spider-Man 27, Spider-Man Doctor Strange The Way to Dusty Death, and Spider-Man Special Edition The Trial of Venom. Some of this stuff has never been collected in any kind of format, so it's great to have it. Conan the Barbarian, the original Marvel Years, Omnibus Volume 10, the final volume of Conan, but also the return of Roy Thomas. Marvel Masterworks Spider-Woman, Volume 3, continuing Jessica Drew's adventures, this time around collecting Spider-Woman 26 through 38. After this volume, we should have enough for an omnibus. So you have in here stuff written by Michael Fleischer, Chris Claremont, of course, and Steve Leialoha doing a lot of the artwork in there. Both covers available. And speaking of both covers, Avengers by Busiek and Perez. Omnibus Volume 1. So if you missed out on it the first time around, this is your time to get it. Both covers, again, available the same day. Ant-Man Antiversary. This is one of those sneaking in some modern complete collections, but they're not calling them complete collections. It's almost like the saga books they have. But nope, I'm wrong. This is not the complete collection type of book. This collects Ant-Man 1 through 4, Tales to Astonish 37 and 43. So this one is $15.99. Sorry about that. This is the new series that came out by Al Ewing, which I've not read, and I want to. And it collects all the Ant-Man throughout the years. And Tom Riley doing the artwork. Wolverine Origin Deluxe Edition. This is a trade paperback of the Wolverine The Origin, not to be confused with Wolverine Origins. This is the Paul Jenkins, Joe Quesada, Richard Eisenoff, Andy Kubert, and Bill Jemas, of course. I think he was co-plotting it. They were all co-plotting it at that time. But this is the classic story that gives you the origin of Wolverine, and it is in trade paperback format, even though it says Origin Deluxe Edition. It's not oversized, it's not in hardcover format. It's just adding the extra pages that were not previously collected before in trade paperback format. New Fantastic Four, Hell in a Basket. Oh yes. Peter David, Alan Robinson, that cover by Nick Bradshaw really makes me miss him doing original artwork inside the books. Collecting New Fantastic Four 1 through 5. And, oh man, I cannot wait to read this. I know it's collected in the companion of The Incredible Hulk by Peter David, but I love the idea of the New Fantastic Four. I love the Arthur Adams artwork and Walter Simonson writing. As a matter of fact, Nick Bradshaw, I've always said he reminded me of Arthur Adams art. So it's really cool to see him on here. Fantastic Four Antithesis. This is the Mark Waid and Neil Adams story, but there are other issues collected in here, like the one by Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams from X-Men 65. But this collects the Fantastic Four Antithesis miniseries 1 through 4, X-Men 65, and Fantastic Four number 60. So this has been released already in a Treasury edition. From the world of DC Comics, we have Batman versus Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, depending on whether you grew up with the TV show or not, or the animated series. Collecting Batman versus Ra's al Ghul 1 through 6, written and drawn by Neil Adams. So that one has been available already in a hardcover format. Monkey Prince, Volume 1, Enter the Monkey. I was going to completely pass on this. This is a hardcover version, so they're really hoping that this does well. This collects Monkey Prince 1 through 6, the DC Festival of Heroes, the Asian superhero celebration. It is written by Jean Luen Yang, and it is drawn by Bernard Chang. And the reason now I'm interested in it is this is BJ Kicks, who I had on the show with all YouTubers, talked about their favorite read of the year. This was his favorite read of the year. So now I'm really curious about it. Deathbed. This is the 2023 edition of Deathbed, collecting all 6 issues. This is the story by Joshua Williamson, Riley Rosmold doing the artwork. From the world of manga, we have Dr. Stone, Volume 24, so continuing Dr. Stone, 24 volumes, my goodness. Gantz, Volume 11. Again, that is stuff that is mature content. It is published by Dark Horse Comics, and it's a 3-in-1, but it's the Gantz Omnibus, Volume 11, so those are $24.99. We're also going to get I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero, Volume 1. I love these titles. Keep on making them. Keep on making them, Japan. My Sister Cat, Volume 1, mainly putting that up there because my daughters, I think, were probably interested in that. No Longer Allowed in Another World, Volume 1. I love when the new series starts because it makes me feel like, oh, I could catch up. I can actually get this book. This one is published by Seven Seas Entertainment, and it is a Volume 1. I have no idea how long it's going to go. Parallel Paradise, Volume 12 is coming out that very same week. I love that cover. That one is by Ghost Ship, but thank you to Josh Greathouse for telling me that Ghost Ship is the adult content. That's why it looks like the little ship of Seven Seas Publishing. So Seven Seas is the, not all ages, but different ratings, whereas Ghost Ship is the hentai type of stories. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but you won't be correcting me. You'll be correcting Josh. I'm throwing you under the bus, man. One Piece, Color Compendium, Paramount, War. So this is the new printing of the colored compendiums of One Piece. And these are beautiful art books. I have some of them, actually some of my art books of One Piece are from Japan. They're not translated. These are the ones that are officially translated by Viz. As far as other publishers from Image Comics, we have the Middle West Complete Tale. This collects all 18 issues plus exclusive bonus features, so that were not collected in the hardcover, I assume. $29.99, collecting all 18 issues. And we're also going to get the Zombies vs. Robots Complete Collection Volume 1. So, this is the Ashley Wood story with Chris Real doing the writing in here, but I want to say that was previously published by Dark Horse Comics, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be and have been wrong. Let's see. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we have Star Wars Tales from the Rancor Pit. This is a hardcover comic. Again, really interesting that Marvel and Disney are licensing out some of the stories of Star Wars. Thought it was just for the kids stuff, but apparently this one doesn't look... Oh no, it is a graphic novel, but it is a hardcover. Lucasfilm and Cavan Scott doing that. I have to look a little deeper into that, and like I thought that stuff was being licensed out to Dark Horse, like the Star Wars kids books. The World of Disney Mirrorverse. I don't know what this is, but that cover is epic. That is a cool cover. $49.99. I think it's probably a game. From IDW, we have Usagi Yojimbo Origins Volume 4, Lone Goat and Kid. This is the stuff that is in paperback format and also in color. So it's IDW recoloring them. And for the people asking, is that going to be the way that Dark Horse collects them? I don't know. I know that Stan Sakai went back to Dark Horse. I don't know how that's going to work. Obviously, we still have solicits for January here. So I don't know how that's going to work with the color stuff. That stuff is kind of a legal nightmare sometimes. Sometimes the colors, I know it's crazy, belong to a specific company. Sometimes the format of a book belongs to a specific company. Kanto, Tales of the Unnamed World. I love this series so much. So this collects Kanto and the City of Giants and both issues of Kanto, Tales of the Unnamed World. $17.99, 128 pages. Edmund White's A Boy's Own Story, the graphic novel. My goodness, that cover is so odd. So this is the original 1982 A Boy's Own Story with additional personal historical elements from the author's life. It is a landmark novel held by New York Times as J.D. Salinger crossed with Oscar Wilde. Okay, I'm in. This is IDW, by the way, and Top Shelf Productions, who does a lot more of their artsy type of books. From the world of Boom Comics, we have Magic Hidden Planeswalker. Yeah, Magic Hidden Planeswalker. Marjorie Scott's doing work in there. Okay, I love that cover. And this is a hardcover collecting Master of Metal 1 and Hidden Planeswalker 1 through 4. $24.99. And let's see, we also have America Lost and Found Rediscovered. So it looks like this is when it's going to be published. I know that book has been delayed, and this is a hardcover published by 2000 AD and Rebellion. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, Screen Comics, Power of Toph. Those books sell really well at Uncanny Omar Talk Pretty Monday. Those books sell really well in the book market, so places like Barnes & Noble or bookstores, and the Scholastic fairs, like where kids go and buy books. My kids still get excited about Scholastic fair. I wish I got that excited. It's crazy. You walk into a Scholastic fair when you were my age, and I don't know what the hell I'm saying. When I was a kid, I'd walk into a Scholastic fair with like $10 and I could buy like 5 books. Now I give my kids $10 and they're like, that's one book and maybe a pencil if the book is $7.99. Woo! Beaky Barnes, Egg on the Loose. That's published by Penguin Workshop. Berenice is published that day, and this is volume 2. This is published by Cinebooks is publishing that one. Corollary is being published by Source Point Press. Love those colors there. Everything comes in twos, even the people. If your twin dies, so do you. Whoa, Adam Rose, Gabby Meltzer working on that particular book. Again, published by Source Point Press. And we're also getting Good Boy, Volume 2. This is one that I've been wanting to read. I know there was a Kickstarter, but I haven't had a chance to read these. And I've heard really good things about them. Written by Garrett Gunn. And I believe the artwork is Kit Wallace. This collects Good Boy Volume 2, issues 1 through 4. And Hexies Volume 1 is being published that day from Blue Fox Comics by Simon Burks. And that is an original graphic novel. That is Volume 1. Mercy Sparks Omnibus Volume 2. And that I know about that because my buddy Kyle sent me the Kickstarter. So now those Kickstarters are being officially published through Diamond. So your comic book stores and places like cheapgraphicnovels.com, waltzcomicshop.com, In Stock Trades, Organic Price Books, Diamond Breed Collectors, Comics Bugle, those places will be able to order these books for you. So this collects Mercy Sparks 10 through 14 of the ongoing series and all 3 issues of year 1 of Mercy Sparks. Who the blank bleep? Can't even bleep it. Mercy Sparks Volume 5, Sticks and Stones, also being published that very same day. Nook trade paperback is coming out, and that one is being published by SourcePoint Press as well. Over the Ropes Volume 1 is coming out that day, and that is published by Mad Cave Studios. Heck yes. I'm a big fan of their stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to get a review copy of that. Now, we're also going to get Phenomenix. Knockabout Comics, that's a trade paperback. Pizza and Taco, graphic novel, Volume 5, Rock Out. I love those books. I love those type of books. That's published by Random House Books. Potions Incorporated, Volume 1, also coming out from Mad Cave Studios. And we're getting some pre-code classics in here. Stories from Another World. Now, the interesting thing about those is that those are published both in a standard size hardcover, a standard hardcover, and in a slipcase edition. And I know some of my viewers love those books and still get those books. And I don't know what the reproduction or restoration on the artwork looks like, but I know it gets pretty pricey to do like the color touch-ups and stuff. But we are getting the PS Art Books Classic Horror Comics Volume 2, and that one is a hardcover. And then the Planet Comics Softie, so that one is a soft cover. The difference is the hardcovers are $52.99, and then the soft covers are $32.99. Robin, and that is with a Y, is coming out that day, and that is published by Blue Fox Comics. Bedtime Stories is coming out, and that one is published by Rebellion 2000 AD. And speaking of Rebellion 2000 AD, Judge Dredd by Mick McMahon is coming out in the hardcover Apex edition. And let me tell you, those hardcover Apex editions, holy crap, do they sell out quick. And I mean quick. Because I wanted the Brian Bolin one, I think, and it was gone. Like, gone. I couldn't find a copy of it. And I think now it's only in the third-party market, unless they did a quick reprint. The Ballad of Halo Jones Omnibus is coming out that week, finally. That one has been delayed. It was originally supposed to come out in middle of December, but now it's been moved to the first week of January. And we're also getting the All Hallows Eve trade paperback. Alone, Volume 13, Stripped Souls is coming out that day, as well as American Born Chinese. This is the new printing, but it's the movie edition printing. So all that means is just it will have a new cover. This is just a reprint of the same book, and that is a great book. Dark Garbage and the Egg. I don't know what this was. I added it here because I love that title. But Dark Garbage and the Egg is coming out that day, as well as Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance. This is the standard edition trade paperback. And Music Box Volume 1, Welcome to Pandorient. The week of January 10th or 11th, depending on where you get your books from Marvel Comics, we kick it off with Trials of X Volume 4, continuing this anthology series, this one collecting Hellions 15, X-Force 21 through 22, Sword number 8, and Way of X 4 through 5. Mighty Marvel Masterworks Doctor Strange Volume 2. My youngest one is so excited to read this, but I told her we have to finish Namor first, and then she can go and read this, and she was not having it. But Collecting Strange Tales 130 to 146, and Spider-Man Annual number 2. So this is everything that Steve Ditko did before he left the book. House of M Omnibus Both covers will be available on the same day, $125, 1,368 pages. Mech Strike, Monster Hunters. Dude, Christos Gage and Paco Diaz is working on this, and the cover's by E.J. Sue. I love that guy's artwork on Transformers IDW. I'm in. I read the previous ones that they did, and I actually had fun with it. It's a book that doesn't take itself seriously. Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, Omnibus Volume 1. People have been asking where my review copy is, and I didn't get it yet, so hopefully I'll get it sometime next week. But this collects Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 43, 16 Hugh, or what was that? Hunter. It was the oh my gosh, what was the storyline? It was Craven's Hunt. But 18 Hugh through 20 Hugh. Feels so weird saying that. Amazing Spider-Man Full Circle and Free Comic Book Day 2018. The Amazing Spider-Man Guardians of the Galaxy. This book is $125, 1,328 pages. Now it's gonna bother me. Hunter's Moon? No. Hunter Unite? No. Okay, all right. Secret Wars Omnibus, the new printing in case you missed it the first time around. Collecting Marvel Superheroes, Secret Wars 1 through 12, Thor 383, She-Hulk number 10, and What If 4 and 114. This one has 496 pages, $75. Both covers are available that day. And let me tell you something. The first printing was $100. So we'll just keep the price between us, because usually prices have gone up, and for some reason for this one they went down. So I ain't saying a word. You all better not say a word. Just get the book. Star Wars Darth Vader by Greg Pak, Volume 5, The Shadow. Rafael Yenko is doing the artwork with Marco Castillo. This collects Darth Vader 23 through 27, and it is the current Darth Vader run at Marvel. Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. Tom Taylor doing some of the stories in here. Phil Noto, Adam Kubert, of course. Collecting Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. It's a trade paperback version of a book that came out in Treasury Edition, as well as this book right here. And if you watch my video, it might have made my top 10 reads of the year. Amazing Fantasy by Carrie Andrews. This one is $17.99. Collecting all 5 issues of Amazing Fantasy, the new 2021, or the 2021 series rather, and Amazing Fantasy Prelude Infinity comic. Deadpool, Bad Blood. I know very little about this. I don't know what this is, but all of this is drawn by Rob Liefeld, and it's plotted by Rob Liefeld. And it's weird not to see Fabian Niciesa's name on there with the script, because it's Chris Sims and Chad Bowers this time around. But collecting Bad Blood 1 through 4. From the world of DC Comics, we have Suicide Squad, Blaze by Simon Spurrier, Aaron Campbell, Jordi Belair. It's a black label book, so it's one of those magazine type of size books, and it is a hardcover. And that's the only book at DC that week. From the world of manga, we have The Galaxy Next Door, Volume 4. That one is published by Kodansha. I love those slice of life stories. I assume it's a slice of life mixed in with some fantasy, sci-fi elements. Dungeon Toilet. Now that I couldn't even tell you what it is. Is it fantasy? Is it medieval fantasy? Is it modern What am I looking at? Ghost in the Shell, fully compiled edition, hardcover. I thought this was out already. And please correct me if I'm wrong. If it hasn't come out, let me know, because I would love to do an overview of it and compare it to the box set. Number 6, Manga, Omnibus Volume 1. So those are now being collected in Omnibus format. And these are softcover Omnis, by the way. You Like Me, Not My Daughter, Volume 2. Didn't we do this last month? I love you both. You Like Me, Not My Daughter. That title, man. Sweet Poolside. It's coming out. This is not a volume number. It is just an original book that is coming out as a one-shot. I love those. I love when they do those. And 7 Deadly Sins Volume 3 is coming out that week. The box set 3, not Volume 3. Sorry about that. Box set 3 is coming out that week. And this collects volumes 15 through 21. And I wish they would collect more. I wish they were kind of like the Viz comics. Whenever they publish those books, they make them a big box set, like with 21 volumes. But they're doing them like 7 volumes each. I'm okay with that, I guess. Vinland Saga Volume 13 finally coming out. That book was delayed, and we are finally getting it in January. From other publishers, the world of Image Comics, we're getting Prodigy Volume 2, Icarus Society. Mark Miller and Matteo Buffagni. So this looks like it takes place in the world. I don't know anything about it. I'm just looking at the cover and the creator, and I thought it was... oh my goodness. What is the name of that now defunct TV show based on Mark Miller's Image Comics? Not Magic Order. What was it called? Man, I can't remember anything. Hunters United and Mark Miller's book. Not The Authority. That wasn't even him. Well, he did write it later. Jupiter's Circle. That series. The Jupiter series. It looks like it's set in that world. Sorry, you just had me here with brain farts watching nothing. And we're also getting the Spawn Origins Deluxe Edition Volume 5. And this is one that so many people keep asking me about. What's going on with it? Is it going to be delayed? Where are the others? And I have reached out to McFarlane Productions, and because my contacts at Diamond have no idea. I'll tell you that much. And McFarlane Productions, they finally got back to me and said, we're going to find out. We're going to talk to our production company, and I've not heard back. So, as of this video, I mean, keep an eye on the Saturday stream in case I did hear back. But that's supposed to come out that day. And from Dark Horse Comics, we have Our Encounters with Evil and Other Stories, the Library Edition. Love these big books. So it's awesome that we get some Mike Mignola stuff in there in oversized format. This collects Mr. Higgins Comes Home, Our Encounters with Evil, Falcon Spear. And these books have been published before in trade paperback and in a standard edition hardcover. So it's nice to see them in an oversized format. Wiper, John Dunning, Ricardo Cabral. This is an original series that is straight to graphic novel format, $19.99, 112 pages. Super Spy by Matt Kent, illustrated by Matt Kent as well. I think this was a Kickstarter, and this collects Super Spy Volume 1, as well as the Lost Dozier, and Funny Creek. That looks like the Looney Tunes logo, and I'm sure that's done on purpose. Rafael Albuquerque, Eduardo Medeiros, working on this, and collects the series in print for the first time. I assume this was a digital release only. Double Walker by Michael Conrad and Noah Bailey is coming out that very same week. And let's see, Conrad has returned to his horror roots while continuing to write Wonder Woman as well as Midnighter for DC Comics. That Midnighter book is actually pretty solid. Powers Volume 2 is coming out. Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oming, collecting Powers 12 through 24 and Powers Annual 1. No word yet if these are going to be collected in a hardcover format. EVE Online, Capsuleer Chronicles, Sam Maggs is writing this story. This collects EVE Online 1 through 4. And Sam Maggs, Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy, that's what he did, okay. Stranger Things, Kamachka, graphic novel is coming out, $19.99, collecting all 4 issues of the miniseries. Critical Role, The Mighty Nine, Origins. So this is a trade. Oh no, this is a hardcover, 56 pages, $17.99. Manor Black, Volume 2, Fire and Blood. Dude, without even looking at the creators, I can tell that's Tyler Crook, so immediately my brain went, okay, that's gotta be Colin Bunn, and it is. But he's being joined, by Brian Hurt is joining him, who's also illustrating some of the book too. Avatar, The High Ground, Volume 2 is coming out, as well as Volume 3. Both of these are hardcovers and coming out the very same day. And from Boom Comics, we have Angel, Volume 2. This is the 2022 edition of Angel, and that's coming out that day. And as far as other publishers for the week of the 10th and the 11th, this is why I have 5 weeks, by the way, because it ends on the 31st, and there are some books coming out on February 1st, so I figured I'd just put those together. So keep that in mind. So when we get to the upcoming books for February, you won't see the first week, because I've already done them. All right. Dega, Volume 1, coming out that week. And that is a hardcover published by Oni Press. And we're also getting Popeye, Wimpy, and His Hamburgers. Now, this one is being published by, I believe Fantagraphics is the one that is doing the restoration on these particular books. But I think this is an anthology. E.C. Seeger is, of course, the creator. My goodness, he's been going since like 1938. So this is the second volumes of Fantagraphics Spectacularly Packaged E.C. Seeger Popeye Sundays. Okay, so they're the Sundays. That's what that is. Sea of Thieves Origins, Volume 1. This is published by Titan Comics. Jeremy Whitley, Roald Marselius is doing the artwork in here. And this collects The Price of Gold, Bonds of Union, and Vision of Order. And we're also getting the history of Harriet Tubman, the graphic novel. And Chartwell Manor is coming out that very same week. And that one is published by Fantagraphics. Very interesting cover. Glenn Head is both the writer and artist. And this is newly reprinted in paperback format. The third week of January from Marvel Comics, we have Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection. My goodness, Spider-Man is getting a lot of love this month. This is the Hero Killers. And brings me so much joy to see my dudes, the New Warriors, on the cover. Even though we have more ladies on the cover. Well, no, it's evened out, right? Got Namorita and Firestar, and Silhouette. Anyway, what the hell am I talking about? Alright, it's a Spider-Man book. Issues 361 to 367. You've been keeping tabs. That is the Carnage Saga collected in there. But also collecting Annual 24, Soul of the Hunter, and then material from Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 12, Web of Spider-Man Annual 8, and New Warriors Annual number 2. That is the crossover. Oh, man. The Hero Killers. Brings back memories. By the way, if you're enjoying these videos, please, seriously, it goes a long way for us to smash that like button. And it's a very small thing you can do. Just caress it. Lightly tap it. Marvelverse, Ant-Man and the Wasp. These are those smaller graphic novel sized books, digest sized books. And they introduce you to these characters. Probably because of the movie. Ant-Man, The Saga of Scott Lang. This is the book I was talking about earlier, but wrong title. That was the new one. This is the classic stuff. So collecting Ant-Man and the Wasp, Living Legends, Ant-Man and the Wasp 1 through 5, Giant Man 1 through 3, Ant-Man, the 2020 series 1 through 5, and Guardians Team-Up number 7. And we're also getting X-Men Epic Collection. It's always darkest before the dawn, and that is the new printing. So again, I always like to stress with these new printings to pick them up at least the first week, because these don't have a bigger print run like the new epics do. They have a smaller print run, and when they go, it's gonna be a while before we get to vote on the new most wanted epic reprints. Marvel Masterworks Kazar. So many people pronounce his name. I always pronounce it Kazar, but could be wrong. Collecting issues 6 through 9 and material from Savage Tales 5 through 11. I think Curtis confused me. Wolverine Omnibus Volume 3. And now that I think about it, I don't think I had it in my top 10 for December because I thought it had moved already. So you will see it in my top 10 for January. That video comes out on Sunday. So I'll talk a little more about it on Sunday. Miss Marvel Fists of Justice. Jody Hauser, Z. Carlos, Ibrahim Robertson are working on this book, collecting Miss Marvel and Wolverine number 1, Miss Marvel Moon Knight number 1, and Miss Marvel and Venom. So they're just a series of one-shots. Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 2. All 3 covers available that same day. Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman. The Complete Collection Volume 4. For those people that have been asking me, where's Volume 4? Well, worry not. Here it is. Volume 4 is finally coming out that week. Just got postponed. X-Force by Benjamin Percy Volume 5. Collecting X-Force 27 through 33. And from the world of DC Comics, we have Batman Urban Legends Volume 4. This collects Batman Urban Legends, I believe, by Ron V. and, yes, Shea Grayson. And Serge Acuna is the artist with that Jimmy Chung on art cover. Or Jim Chung, I'm sorry. Batman and Robin by Tomasi and Gleason Omnibus. This is the 2023 edition, 1,248 pages, $150. From the world of manga, we've got Afro Samurai Volume 2. The Astonishing Melanie did a review of Volume 1 on the channel if you want to go back and check that out. But she thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you're a fan of the show, I would definitely recommend checking it out. Tatsuki Fujimoto, Before Chainsaw Man 17 through 21. It's all stuff he worked on before Chainsaw Man. Barbarities, Volume 1 is coming out that week. And again, every time there's a Volume 1, I get excited. I can catch up. I'm going to be able to catch up. I'm so delusional sometimes. But that is coming out that week, and that is by Seven Seas Entertainment. And we're also getting the High Score Girl Volume 10 coming out that day, and that is published by Square Enix, who doesn't really publish a lot of manga on a monthly basis, not compared to the likes of Viz or even Kodansha. Honey Lemon Soda Volume 1, published by Yen Press, and Yen Press publishes a lot of books too. It's like even starting with new titles. Oshi no Ko is coming out that week, and that is a Volume 1, so it's a brand new series. And that one is published also by Yen Press. I was just talking about how many they do. Vampire Hunter D Omnibus Volume 3. And keep in mind, these are books. They're with Yoshitaka Amano artwork inside, but they're not comics. Those comics are actually coming out. And I had no idea they were still coming out, which I'll talk a little bit about those here in a second. But let's talk about other publishers first. Above Snakes is coming out from Image Comics. This is Sean Lewis and Hayden Sherman, collecting Above Snakes volume or issues 1 through 5. And we're also getting Lady Mechanica. And Lady Mechanica, I said it so fancy. Lady Mechanica is Joe Benitez's story now being published at Image. I don't know if they're going to reprint the hardcovers, but these are $9.99, and these are trade paperbacks, so it's a very, very affordable way to catch up. Public Domain is coming out in trade paperback. This is Volume 1. This is, of course, Chip Zdarsky and drawn by Chip Zdarsky, collecting Public Domain issues 1 through 5. And That Texas Blood Volume 3 is coming out that very same week. And that one is by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. Jacob Phillips is Sean Phillips' son, but he's also the colorist on a lot of Sean Phillips stuff, when he usually works with Ed Brubaker, and now he's drawing this. So I haven't seen his artwork, I don't think. And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a big fan of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips collaborations. So I don't know if I've seen his artwork. But this is Texas Blood, collecting issues 14 through 19. And let me know if you're reading that series, if you picked it up. Time Squared Omnibus, again. Golly, I don't know how many times I've talked about that book, but it is finally coming out. Maybe the Howard Chaykin book. I'm very excited for that book, and it just it's sad that it just keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And yeah, I don't know if it's actually coming out or not. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we have BPRD Omnibus Volume 3. And this collects BPRD Universal Machine, Garden of Souls, and Killing Ground. And keep in mind, Omnibus means a softcover trade paperback. This is $29.99, 448 pages. So keep that in mind, that it is a softcover trade paperback. Vampire Slayer, Buffy, Volume 1 from Boom Publishing. And Sarah Gailey and Michael Shelfer, Sonia Lau, are the creative team behind this. I guess this is the new Vampire Slayer series. So it's just called Vampire Slayer 1 through 4. Okay. And Buffy is in parentheses. Oh, okay. I see what they did there. Nice. Children of Palomar and Other Tales is coming out that very same week. And that one is published by Fantagraphics. Rick and Morty Infinity Hour is coming out that week. And that one is published by Oni Press. That's interesting because later on you'll see a book that's published by, I believe, IDW or Dark Horse. It's Dark Horse that is Rick and Morty. So again, licensing, I don't even understand how that works when it comes to those kind of collections. Queenie, Godmother of Harlem, is coming out that very same week, as well as Absolution trade paperback. And that one is being published by AWA. And thank you so much to the folks that sent me some AWA stuff. So I can't wait to check it out. Astro Mouse and Lightbulb, Volume 3, The Return Beyond Unknown. And that is published by Papercuts, who I think has not been absorbed, but has gone into business with Mad Cave Studios. So I'm excited to see what they bring out. Blackula, The Return of the King, is coming out from Zombie Love Studios. Rodney Barnes is writing it with Jason Shaw and Alexander doing the artwork. It's a hell of a cover. And Brody Can't Be Broken. That's a ridiculous title. That sounds like a manga title. As a matter of fact, it kind of looks like a manga. This is by Band of Bards, is the publisher. And all of that story takes place in the year 2095. Chuckling What's It is coming out. And that is being published by Fantagraphics. It is by Richard Sala, both the writing and the art of that book. And Download is coming out that very same week. That book right there is actually published by Red 5 Comics, so it's the first book I've seen by them this time around. Scott Chitwood and Danny Luckert are both the creators behind that book. And Tales of Carnival Row is also coming out that very same week. Now, if you're interested in some of these books, if you live in Europe and are interested in buying and pre-ordering Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC books within the EU, flat rate shipping of €12 for all EU countries, bulletproof packaging, and all emails will be answered within 24 hours. They offer a huge selection of out-of-print books. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION, all one word, at the checkout to get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order of over €40. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. The week of January 24th or 25th, depending on where you get your books from, Marvel Comics. We kick it off with my favorite Avengers villain, Kang, the saga of the once and future Conqueror. I love that cover. That is I thought it was Ken Lashley, forgive me, but it's Cal Newt, I believe, is how you pronounce the gentleman's name. But this collects Fantastic Four 19, Avengers 8, all new, all different Avengers 13, Avengers, the 2016 series 1 through 6, Avengers Back to the Basics 5 through 6, Moon Knight Annual Number 1, that's the 2019 Moon Knight series, Symbiote, Spider-Man King in Black 1 through 5, Timeless Number 1, and material from Fantastic Four 35. I'm hoping one day we get an omnibus of this, because his story is just so complex, but I'm excited that it's coming out as a saga. Strange Academy Year 1. So for the folks that have been wanting to read this, this collects all 12 issues of Year 1. If you're interested in that book and you've been wanting to check it out. Previously, it's only been available in the digest size book format and then the oversized hardcover format, but that only collected the first 6 issues. Ant-Man and Giant Man Epic Collection, Ant-Man No More. Collecting Ant-Man... Oh, actually, no. This collects Marvel Feature 4 through 10, Power Man 24 through 25, Black Goliath 1 through 5, Champions 11 through 13, Marvel Premiere 47 through 48, Tells to Astonish 60 through 69, Iron Man number 44. My goodness. I forgot that Ant-Man really didn't have an ongoing series back then. So a lot of creators in here like Chris Claremont, Bob Layton, Herb Trimpe, and Bill Mantlo. Man, Iron Cat. I thought my viewers were joking with me about this series, but this is Iron Cat by Jed McKay and Pere Perez, collecting Iron Cat 1 through 5. If you have not read Black Cat by Jed McKay, freaking awesome. Pick up the omnibus when it comes out next year. I guess depending on when you're watching this. This year, 2023. Star Wars Legends, The New Republic Omnibus Volume 1. This is a book I read about a month and a half ago, and I can't believe it's been pushed back until now. I think it was supposed to come out in November and then December, but I'm glad it's coming. This collects Star Wars Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand 0 through 6, Shadows of the Empire Evolution 1 through 5, X-Wing Rogue Leader 1 through 3, Rogue Squadron 1 through 35, the Star Wars Special Handbook And then Tales of Star Wars, Star Wars Tales 10, 12, 15, and 23. Fantastic Four by John Byrne, Volume 2. And, man, this top 10 is going to be difficult because there's a lot of good reprints. That might make it in the top 10. If it didn't, that's number 11, okay? Number 11, in case it didn't make it. Incredible Hulk. This is another one. What the heck? Incredible Hulk by Peter David, Omnibus Volume 2. I think I've already said that this was in my top 10 once upon a time, so it deserved it. This would be number 12. Incredible Hulk 369 to 400, Annual 16 through 18, X Factor 76, and then material for Marvel Holiday Special number 12. Elektra Black, White, and Blood Treasury editions coming out. I cannot wait to talk about this book. These books are gorgeous. They're the softcover, oversized books. Magazine size. This has Mark Bagley's work in here. John Romita Jr., Charles Soule. As a matter of fact, that's a John Romita Jr. piece right there. Demon Days, which has been released in Treasury Edition before, is now coming out in trade paperback. Peach Momoko's alternate reality story. And collecting Demon Days X-Men, Mariko, Curse Web, Rising Storm, and Blood Feud, and the material from King in Black 4, and Elektra Black, White, and Blood 4. Wild Cards, the drawing of the cards. I got this book in a week ago, I think. Or maybe it was this week. Or maybe I'm imagining it. But this collects drawing of the cards 1 through 4. It's a sci-fi anthology series. And it's given the Marvel treatment. And it's George R. R. Martin's book, too. So Paul Cornell is the writer, who I love Paul Cornell. Everything he's written, I've enjoyed. Okay, I take it back. I did tell him I wasn't the biggest fan of his Wolverine run, but that wasn't his fault. Mike Hawthorne is the artist on here, so that's interesting. I'm curious to see what the Marvel treatment of that book is. Earth Prime from DC Comics is coming out, collecting all 6 issues of Earth Prime. And Black Adam, the Justice Society files, given the movie cover treatment there. Dark Knight's Metal Omnibus finally coming out, pushed out of the December catalog, but now coming in January. And from the world of manga, we have A Condition of Love, Volume 1, coming out that week. And that one is published by Kodansha. We're also getting Break of Dawn, and that one is published by, I believe it is also Kodansha? Yeah, it is. That is definitely Kodansha. I love that cover. Cute, innocent. Sure, let's check it out. Do You Like Big Girls? Volume 6. Man, yes, and also Motivation to Run. Motivation to Run. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, what's his name? Taru from Urusei Yatsura. I don't know if y'all even know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's better that you don't. Don't Toy With Me. Nagatoro box set is coming out. This is a series I've been wanting to read, and originally it was supposed to be published in, I believe, November, but now coming out in January. Polar Bear Cafe. That is adorable. Every time I think of polar bears like that, I think of the Coke commercials. Hideyuki Kikuchi's Vampire Hunter D. This is what I was talking about. I had a couple things here. I had no idea that they were still making these in Japan. And I had no idea that digital manga distribution was still publishing them here in English. It's been a long time since I've seen the Vampire Hunter D manga. So what this is this is an adaptation by Saiko Takaki. It's an adaptation of the novel. So if you don't like novels and you have to have a manga or the comic, this is what you're looking for. Now, it doesn't have, of course, the art in there by Yoshitaka Mano, but it is based on Kikuchi's Vampire Hunter D novels. So for people that have been wondering where the manga is, there it is. And we're also getting Watakoi Love is Hard for Otaku box set. And my dog is going nuts upstairs. Mailman must be here. Somebody must be here, because he's just going crazy. All right. From the world of other publishers, from Image Comics, we have the Invincible Compendium hardcover Volume 1. This is, of course, written by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Otley, supplying some of the artwork. Collecting issues 0 through 47. These are some big books. They're $99.99. Now, the big question is, since we're getting the compendium hardcover later on, how big are these books going to be? Now, the last time I saw these were exclusively to Skybound Studios. And you can purchase them online, too. But they were standard size. They were thick books, but they were standard size books. They weren't oversized like the Invincible Deluxe hardcover editions. They weren't that tall, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if these new printings will be as tall as that. That would be really cool, because then we're talking, that's an omnibus right there. Let's just call it what it is. But I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures. I haven't seen anybody talk about it, the dimensions of it. But to me, if they're going to reprint it, it's just easy to reprint the compendiums that they've already had, and those were in the standard size format. But you never know. They could surprise us. Manifest Destiny Volume 8 is coming out. This is by Chris Dingus and Owen Gianni, I believe. And this is a series I've wondered about, and I don't think it's been given the hardcover treatment yet. I would know. This is the Home of Collected Editions. Why don't I know that? I think I'm confusing that book with something else. I'm pretty sure I am. Grendel is coming out from Dark Horse Comics. This is Volume 3. Now, if you're curious, like, why some of these books from Dark Horse you may already have, that is because I'm going with the street date that is given by the distributors. Depending on who is your retailer is, who you're buying books from, sometimes they get books from different distributors. That's what makes this a nightmare to put together, believe me. But it's supposed to be this date. Now, until they switch the distribution over to PRH completely, the dates are going to vary when they come out. So Volume 3 is coming out, Orion's Reign, and I cannot wait to reread some of these stories. I'm hoping one day they give us a hardcover format. Rick and Morty Sick and Find is coming out that day. And this is what I meant by Oni Press and Dark Horse, both doing Rick and Morty comics. Very interesting. Godzilla Rivals Round 1, published at Dynamite. And that cover, E.J. Sue again. I love that guy. I love his artwork. So this is a trade paperback, 176 pages, $19.99. From the world of Boom Studios, we're getting a Grimm trade paperback, Stephanie Phillips, and the artwork is by Flaviano, collecting Grimm 1 through 5. Season of the Bruja is coming out that very same week. That is a trade paperback format, and that is published by Oni Press. Archie's in India, published by Archie Comic Publications. Somebody was asking during my book tour where my Archie comics were, and I've had 2, and they're in a box somewhere. That's all I can say. Batron Before the Chariots is coming out that very same week, and that is published by Caliber Entertainment. So Caliber Entertainment represent. And Bucky. I got Bucky's on the mind. Buck Danny Classics, Volume 1, Sabers Over Korea, is coming out that day, as well as Volume 2, Duel in Meg Alley. So both of those published by Cinna Books. Bomb, hardcover and graphic novel format are coming out on the same day, published by Roaring Books Press. And man, what a freaking cover, my goodness. Cupcake Diaries, Volume 3, Emma on Thin Icing. The Dogma Resistance is coming out, and this is published in hardcover format, published by Heavy Metal Entertainment. Dragon Whisperer, Volume 2, Search for Obsidian. Esther Notebooks is coming out that week, and that is published by Pantheon Books. Eve is published by Virago, and Una, is that Volume 1? Can't even see who the award-winning author of Becoming Unbecoming. Huh. Okay. That looks interesting. Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers in the 21st Century. You had me at that title. That cover looks crazy. Gilbert Shelton and Paul Mavrides are the creators behind this. Published by Fantagraphics. Fox and Willow Came a Harper is coming out that very same week. and that is published by CX Publishing, or Sex Publishing, I assume? No, CEX. We'll call it CEX. Just play it safe. Golden Age Classics, Rangers of Freedom, hardcover volume 1. Both the slipcase edition and the hardcover are coming out that very same week. And Hopeless Maine, volume 2 is coming out that week, published by CEX Publishing. I love that cover. I love the colors they're using on that cover. Land of the Dead, Lessons from the Underworld. It's coming out, published by First Second Books. I love their books. They don't come out with a lot every year, but when they do, they really hit it home. Night of the Comet, that one is published by Source Point Press. And Old Man Volume 3 is coming out that very same week, as well as Pantha, Blessed and Accursed. The Phantom, The Complete Dailies, hardcover, Volume 26, 1975 to 1977. Popeye Variants, Not Your Pappy's Comics art book, published by Clover Press. Another one that Fantagraphics is publishing the classic stuff, and then this is being published by Clover Press. And this looks like more modern collections. This hardcover collection celebrates the incredible art of Popeye and his pals, illustrated by a lot of artists. Okay, say no more. That's what I thought. It looks more like modern stuff. So maybe it's a rights issue with, like, you can have the old classic stuff, you can have the new stuff. Rivers of London, Deadly Ever After is coming out that same week, as well as Sheena, Volume 2, Xenozoic. Xenozoic? That is published by Dynamite. Show's End, Volume 2, Second Coming is coming out that very same week, published by Mad Cave Studios. That one looks really interesting. And Tales of Mr. Ree, Omnibus, Volume 1. So I guess there's more than one that can be collected. And the last week of January / first week of February, we have from Marvel Comics, Silver Surfer Epic Collection, The Return of Thanos. This book has 480 pages, $44.99, collecting Silver Surfer 24 through 38 and Silver Surfer The Enslavers. So, again, if you're a fan of the Silver Surfer in epic format, here's your book for you. I think that one was announced a couple of years ago and it finally gets come out. Star Wars Bounty Hunters Volume 5, The Raid on the Vermilion. Continuing the story of the Bounty Hunters, issues 23 to 28. Ethan Sachs continuing writing this story, 144 pages, $17.99. Ant-Man and Giant Man Epic Collection. This is the new printing of The Man in the Anthill, collecting Tales to Astonish 27 and then 35 through 59. So you get a lot of the classic, actually all the classic stories featuring Ant-Man. Marvel Knights, Make the World Go Away. And I believe this is a relaunch of the Marvel Knights. Yeah, it's a 20th anniversary special or miniseries, issues 1 through 6. I know Donny Cates worked on here, Travel Foreman worked on this book, and of course the cover by Mike Deodato Jr. Miles Morales, The Avenging Avenger is coming out, and this is the digest size books collecting issues of Spider-Man 12 through 19 and Spider-Gwen 16 through 18. Captain Marvel, that's right, the classic Captain Marvel is back in omnibus format, Volume 1. So hope to see a lot more. Collecting Marvel Superheroes 12 through 13, Captain Marvel 1 through 33, Iron Man 55, and then Not Brand Ek number 9. So of course, we'll need one more volume to wrap up that era. Star Wars Dr. Aphra, Omnibus Volume 1. This does have a new printing, so this is the new printing. 1,240 pages, $125. Collecting Star Wars Dr. Aphra 1 through 40, the annuals 1 through 3, Darth Vader 3 through 4, 8, 21 through 25, Star Wars 13 through 9, or 13, 19, and 31 and 32, The Screaming Citadel, and material from Star Wars Empire's Ascendant. And if you've not read this, this is a phenomenal series by Kieran Gillen. And if you've read the Kieran Gillen Darth Vader, read this because it's just as good. I happen to like Darth Vader a little bit better, but Dr. Aphra is a lot of fun, especially her freaking psychopath droids. Oh man, it's a great story and wonderful artwork by Kev Walker, written by, of course, Kieran Gillen, and then Cy Spurrier comes on and does some of the writing. but phenomenal story. Both of them available both covers available the same day. And of course, we're getting the Alyssa Wong Omnibus later on in 2023. Edge of the Spider-Verse is coming out in trade paperback format, collecting all 5 issues of Edge of the Spider-Verse. And Janice Vell, Captain Marvel. Now, we're getting an omnibus. This is not in that omnibus. This is the new Peter David and Juanan Ramirez miniseries that came out, I believe, in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not included in the omnibus. Daredevil by Miller and Jansen omnibus. So Frank Miller and Klaus Jansen's omnibus, collecting issues 158 through 161, and then 163 to 191, and material from What If number 28. Now, this is not going to have the newly restored artwork from the Masterworks. That's something that I've mentioned on my Saturday streams. And believe me, I try to get that Steve Ditko issue 162 in there. But I was politely told no. Fantastic Four by Dan Slott, Volume 3. So collecting issues 21 through 30 of his run, Empire number 0, Fantastic Four, or Empire 0, Fantastic Four, and then Empire Fallout, Fantastic Four. Marauders by Jerry Duggan, the oversized hardcover, Volume 2 is coming out, collecting Marauders 16 through 20, 22 through 27, and King in Black Marauders. From the world of DC Comics, we have Batman Beyond Neo Year. And man, they just keep pumping those out. That's awesome. I'm a big fan of Batman Beyond. I hope we'll get an omnibus one day. Milestone Compendium Volume 2. This would definitely be in my top 10. Man, this top 10 is going to be difficult. Dwayne McDuffie, Jean-Paul Leon. If you haven't picked up the first compendium, do yourself a favor and pick it up. Volume 2 contains the Blood Syndicate 13 through 23, Hardware 13 through 21, Icon 11 through 21, Static 9 through 20, Shadow Cabinet 1 through 4, Steel 6 through 7. So we are going to get our, the Worlds Collide crossover. Superboy 6 through 7, Superman Man of Steel 35 and 36, and Worlds Collide number 1. So that is the first time those Superman stories have been collected in any kind of format. From the world of manga, we have Am I Actually the Strongest? That is a Volume 1 series, and that one is published by Kodansha. And we're also getting the Neon Genesis Evangelion Shinji Ikari Raising Project Omnibus Volume 6, published by Dark Horse, and that collects 3 volumes, so that would be the Tankobons, the equivalent of volumes, I guess 16, 17, and 18, right? Math. Basic math. Fire Force Omnibus Volume 2 is coming out, collecting volumes 4 through 6. And from Last Gasp, we're also getting I Saw It by Keiji Nakasawa. I believe that is... It looks like the same artist that did Barefoot Gen. This is a survival's true story of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. Oh man. Those stories. And if you have not read or seen Barefoot Gen, my goodness. You're in for a heartbreak. From the world of Dark Horse Comics that week, we are getting the Collector, Unit 731, collecting issues 1 through 4 of this series by Rob Monteiro. Murder Incorporated Volume 1, Valentine's Trust by Brian Michael Bendis, Michael Avon Oming, and Taki Soma. And Tales from Harrow County Volume 3, Lost Ones, Colin Bunn, Tyler Crook, Emily Schnall, working on those stories. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Chibis Volume 1, so chibi size. Or what we used to call back in the day, Super Deform. That's right, that's what we used to call them back in the 80s and I guess early 90s. Cyberpunk 27. I don't even remember the transition from Jap animation to anime. Or Japanese comics to manga. Or chibi, or from Super Deform to chibi. Showing my age. Cyberpunk 2077 Blackout. Hell yes. My brother really likes the comics, so he's been trying to get me to read them. So I may check them out. Critical Role, The Mighty Nine Origins. It's an awesome, creepy cover by who's the cover artist? Sam Riegel. Sam Maggs is working on the book. And The Ward, Welcome to the Madhouse. Cavan Scott writing that particular story. And that is a paperback. From the world of Boom Comics, we're getting Mighty Morphin Volume 6, collecting Mighty Morphin 21 through 26, and Power Rangers Unlimited Countdown to Ruin, issue number 1. And Prince Valiant from Fantagraphics. This is Volume 26, 1987 to 1988. My goodness, they're getting up there. They're getting up there. Red as Rose, Romantic Love, Ancient Greeks Reality. That is one hell of a title. Best of 2000 AD, Volume 2 is coming out. It looks like it says 2 of 6. So there might just be 6 volumes. I really like the first one. It's like the first chapter of Halo Jones, or the first third of Halo Jones is in there, and it got me excited for more. Betty Page, Alien Agenda. I'm all about that Betty Page agenda. Bonding People and Their Parasites. That is a creepy freaking title. Bonding People and Their Parasites. This is a hardcover comic, but it is not a creepy looking cover though. And it's published by Vault Comics. Box of Bones, published by Rosarium Publishing. And Calculated Man is coming out from Aftershock Comics. Aftershock didn't have a lot this time around. And I know the rumor of like I'll tell you something that I've talked about on my Saturday streams, that because a company files bankruptcy does not mean that they're going to go under. I've talked about how IDW in the past has filed bankruptcy many years ago, and they're still publishing books. It just means that they are definitely restructuring that needs to go around, and I'm sure they're going to rethink a lot of the strategies that they've been using in the past. And my kids have friends over. That's what all that running is about. The little laughter of children in the middle of these books as I talk about them. Dynamite Never Dies is coming out from Dynamite. Doctor Who Daleks Ultimate Comic Strip. So these are the comic strips of Doctor Who that I wasn't even aware was a thing. This is published by Panini UK. So awesome. Carl the Viking. I like that name. Carl the Viking. Is that a very Viking name? I don't think it is, but I like it. It definitely stands out. Pearl of the Sea is coming out that same week, and that is published by Catalyst Press. Pluto Rocket graphic novel, new in town. Tundra Books is publishing that book. That looks cute. That looks cute. PS Art Book, Pre-Code Classics, Spook Softy. So this is a soft cover. Red Sonja and Vampirella, Betty Veronica, Volume 2. I love that cover, that Back to the Future 3 cover. The Secret History of Black Punk Record Zero, published by Silver Sprocket. Reagan Buchanan is both the writer and artist on that title. And Star Runner Rising Stars is coming out that week. That is published by Atlantis Studios. And to wrap up that week and month of January, and like I said, some of February, A Home Without, published by Northwest Press. Don Gaddis is both the writer and artist, and it looks awesome. That one's coming out February 1st, but I had to do it in one because it's that week of. Now, if you're interested in purchasing some of these books, you want to go ahead and pre-order them, check out our sponsor here in America. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was it. That was the books coming out for the month of January, and like I said, some of the first week of February. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited for. My top 10 will be coming out in it'll be coming out on Sunday. And then I need to do my most anticipated books of 2023 later on. That will probably come out sometime next week. I did want to sneak it in this week, but it's impossible with this video coming out, the Saturday live stream. But this time, I just want to thank all of you for joining me for this ride. It's been amazing. It's been a lot of work, but I love doing this. I look forward to this video. I don't look forward to putting it together. It's a pain in the butt, but I look forward to this video every month because it helps so many people out. And that's all I've got. If you want the written documentation, again, check out our Patreon. Link is in the description of the video. And thank you to our existing patrons. Could not be making videos like this possible without you all. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.